everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Haysie Simmer, and today I have another build for you guys. But before I get into that, I want to show you guys kind of more of my modern mid-century chic California inspired home, because I did miss showing you guys one of my favorite bathrooms of the build. So here it is, real fast, ignore the pop-up. I really liked it, and I wanted to show you guys each level's, aerial floor plan and just give like a different view, because I also felt like when I showed you guys the bedroom, I kind of glossed over it a little fast in my tour. So I'm just popping in and showing the features because I really love this house, and I'm going to have to add it to my save file that I am building. Remember, this house is 100% CC and mod free, so you'll also be able to download it. Another thing I wanted to do is show you guys my sim that I made, 100% mod and CC free. Her name is Bryce Mills, and here is what she looks like. Everything about her is 100% EA in the game. This is how she would look if you downloaded her to the game. I did upload her to the gallery. She has the bodybuilder aspiration, and then I realized that I did not put any gym equipment in her house except for the pool. So I do go back and add a treadmill. Well, we do have the wellness skill as well, but for the bodybuilder aspiration, I was thinking maybe she was like a pro athlete, possibly like pickleball or tennis, maybe even golf. Even though those things aren't in the game, I'm just like, trying to always have a story and be creative. But I do go in and show you guys that I'm adding some more athletic outfits, as well as I add different hot weather and cold weather outfits, because I feel like those are the ones we see the most. You don't really see everyday wear that much, and I know we will be seeing athletic wear a lot because the fact that she wants to be an athlete. But she is still an artistic sim. Her house, maybe she does art in her free time, but like her ways to relieve stress, and then her career is just in the athletic field. You can be multifaceted. So right here in front of these beautiful mirrors, I do a treadmill, and I'm really proud of it because I just think this view is so gorgeous, and I don't know, I just love this house. But I also love the one that I built in this episode after I get done showing you guys this, so you'll like this. But for this to be a 4-story, 1-bedroom house, this is 100% not my jam, not my style. But I do think that when you look at this build, it 100% like gives off that I built it. And it was really awesome not to use any CC, because I tend to use 3 or 4 of my favorite CC creators to, so I tend to use my favorite 2 or 3 build CC creators, and whenever I play on my own, I always use their stuff, as you guys saw in my secret save file. So I'm really glad that I challenged myself to still give the vibe of something I like, but use the game. So here I am in San Sequoia still, and I am building a house downtown, and I want it to look like one of the ones in the back set dressing, especially that one in the far right. But I built further back on the lot because the fact that we're close to the splash pad. I feel like this is definitely a family home, so I went from building like, a single sim luxury home to a family home. This is going to end up being a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and I'm really proud of it. I think it's going to be very playable, but it has character and charm. It's not too lived into the fact that you can't put your own sim's identity in it and all that, and this house really blends into the neighborhood. Now, not every house has to blend into the neighborhood, but this one kind of looked like a community, so I feel like a lot of the houses would be built by the same, manufacturer. So I wanted to give that same vibe, but maybe the family updated like the colors and stuff. So I just love it. And I did a quarter of the property fenced in. Obviously, there's a lot more of the property that could be fenced in, but I'm trying to challenge myself into not putting every outdoor activity or the same stuff over and over, different skill stuff, do different types of build, which I love stonework in real life. So I was very happy to do this. And then when I did this like terracotta on the outside, for some reason, I just really loved the contrast of like the green woodsy area, that terracotta and stone, that I chose to stick with that. A hack I do is I've been trying to lately narrow myself down to a few packs for like exteriors, or like when I'm doing landscaping because I'm a novice. I will limit myself to like 5 different plants and not do anything more than that. And same thing with like furniture in the house. I try to stick with similar packs. So I'm not overwhelmed with options, but sometimes obviously I'll give myself more options. But I would like a lot of it to be cohesive. So what I like to do, I did a season door. So then I chose to use the season's windows, and I put all the windows and doors on the back of the house. So that way, whenever I'm swapping them out throughout the build, I can use just identify those ones and copy and paste. So that way, I don't have to go digging in the catalog for them. So that's why you saw me put them all in the back of the house. Here I am trying to do some terrain paint. This is not my forte. I'm really good at like wild gardens, but not like landscaping, something that looks like it belongs in a community. Um, Even in real life, my house does not blend into the community like everyone else, because I find managing flower beds kind of hard. So I did my best there. But I decided I wanted to use these iron, a glass table, which is very like, at least when I was growing up, I felt like everyone had a glass table outside, and like stone seats. So I went with that, and I also put down the picnic table, the picnic blanket and a cooler, because those are items I never use. And then I was like, okay, this is the family home, so let's put down some bikes. I put the trash at the curb, and I did too, so it looked like they had recycling and just like little details to make it feel like a family home. And right here, off of what I originally was planning to be the main bedroom, but it no longer is the main bedroom, I did like originally a lounge and a table, which was cute, but I do end up changing it because, oh, and I even put a diary there because skill items, I'm trying to start littering everywhere. I did cut out quite a bit of footage of me trying to figure out the stairs. Stairs are not my forte in The Sims, and I also never give myself a proper size living room, which I also didn't do here. But instead, I tried to use it as different like seating spaces. And I love this I think this is Home Chef Hustle kitchen. I love this kitchen set so much. It's really hard for me not to always use it. I know you probably guys probably have not seen me use it, but I actually do use it quite a bit in other builds and stuff like that. So I did the blue version here, and I did a very skinny kitchen, and then I wanted to have a sliding door from the kitchen to the backyard, but I it's not completely changed. I just do a different door and change the deck like exit area. So just like ignore that for the time being because it's going to be completely different. I got to use that beautiful outdoor swing set too. I can't remember what kit that came in, but I'm pretty sure it was a kit. It may have been the camping backyard. I don't know what it's called, but the little campers kit maybe. I do move this around, but I do keep these island seatings in here. It doesn't stay where it is right now because I end up moving the door down and doing kind of like a galley kitchen. And of course, I thought my kitchen was done, and then I usually either forget the stove or the fridge. In the worst case scenario, forget both. In this case scenario, I forgot the fridge for a little while, and I have to go back and add a fridge, and I'm really upset with myself about that because I wanted to have the kitchen flow into the dining room. So, like, my biggest thing was, like, with manufacturer homes, there are so many weird design choices. Like, I live in a manufacturer subdivision home that's sort of similar to this. If you watch my live streams, I kind of did a build based on my house, but it's way too big because I couldn't do anything correctly to scale. But there's like certain things that don't make sense to me from a design aspect because, they just try to get these things done as quickly as possible. So even though this may have been at like a 300 square foot house, probably in The Sims, I don't really know, but the dining room is small and, things like that. And so I wanted to have a flowing dining room and kitchen because I'm saying that they didn't, manage space for those kind of areas very well when they designed the house. So I wanted it to look lived in. So I also decided to put like up some artwork because I had debug on. So I was able to dig into debug and get like some child artwork and put it up on the wall, which was something I really enjoyed as a feature. I think at this point I realized I don't have a fridge, or at least, that I realized I don't have a fridge, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put the fridge? And then I was like, I don't want to put a wall up. So I ended up backing the fridge to the other wall, which I know is an awkward placement, but it's just where it is. And because I really wanted an island, I didn't want to get rid of having an island. I do still change this door out one more time, so this is not important. But I do think that this is, no home in real life is perfect unless you're getting it custom built to your specific taste. But I really think this is a very good house, and I'm so proud of myself because it has like elements to it that just feel real to me. And I don't really play Sims for realism. As you guys know, I'm like a crazy fantasy storyteller. Even with real life scenario Sims in contemporary settings, I like tell crazy stories. So here I am putting light switches on. I do think I forget to do this upstairs, so that's funny. I'm trying to do little details that just make it feel lived in. And then I shrink down the broom because it still looks like an appropriate size, and I put down a broom. And then I thought, hey, let's put some picture frames on the wall because I really hate The Sims 4 art. I mean, I really do. I don't think it's that great. I think we need more options for art because I feel like every painting is like Western or country house, and there's like, or like weird modern shapes and colors, but there's nothing like really. I don't know. I can't tell you what I'm looking for. I just know they don't have it in the game. So I decided let's put some picture frames on the wall. I hate that they're locked behind game plain sentiments. But if you type in the cheat to get them out, you can put them in a build. And I was like, this is a great way to remind myself to make my Sims take pictures, is if they have the walls already up in their house. So here I am working on what ends up being the main suite bathroom. I always knew I was going to do a full bath downstairs because I like having a full bath downstairs. And originally I was going to do an office downstairs, but then I decided against an office. I actually don't even think this house has a workspace, but that's okay. I decided to do a more luxurious full bathroom because I thought, hey, maybe whenever the person's like buying this house, they're thinking, well, the kitchen is kind of, small. It's a galley kitchen and it goes straight to the outdoor area. And the dining room is small, but look at how luxurious the bathrooms are. I feel like this was like the selling point that made the people want the bathrooms. So I think my bathrooms are like a family luxurious vibe. I used this wallpaper from high school years, that Art Deco wallpaper, and then a lot of it. That bathtub is from, I'm trying to think, Dreamhole Decorator, and then most of everything else is from the Sleek Decor Kit. Actually, the cabinets are from Mount Komorebi. So there is quite diversity in this, but everything went so well together, like the island living curtains, the base game bottom floor tiles. I tried out a few because I was hoping for the same to match the Art Deco, but I couldn't find it, so I just ended up doing a very basic beige tile. But you'll see it more when I do the final tour, but I'm really proud of it. And then I decided this is going to be the main bedroom because I've been looking at a lot of houses on Zillow, and I've been seeing in certain states where they don't have basements, I've noticed that they have the main bedroom downstairs with a full bath, and then the two bedrooms upstairs are for children. So that's actually what I end up doing here. And instead of having a workspace by this fireplace, because I realized I built the chimney and I'm like, crap, I have to have a fireplace. I mean, I could have ignored that I built the chimney on the outside of the house, or I could have deleted it, but I liked it, so I chose to keep it. I decided that I was going to do like a little workspace here for like a lounging, reading little chaise lounge, and I put a digital tablet down, as well as some books and some drawings, because those could be skills that this person works on. And then I try out a bunch of different wallpapers, and none of them really feel like they go with the outside of the house. So I think I go, yeah, do something very clean and basic. I'm also trying not to always use that tiny saucer as a light, so I'm trying to use different light sources. I do have a tiny saucer in here, and I change out that TV, but right away I didn't think about anything, so I change out this a little bit, which you'll see me do in a while. So don't settle too much on what you're seeing now, because I do change the wall up a bit. I like to put that calendar in places too, because it just adds like a little living touch. And this is when I realized, oh good, you also walk straight into the living room and you have no landing zone and no real lounge space. But then I thought, you know what, we could do an upstairs family room, so we can just kind of have like say the bottom level is very open because you would most likely like entertain family friends here, and so everything has that flow walk through space. So yeah, you might walk, in front of the TV, but nobody's really sitting down and watching TV if people are over, is what I was thinking. So I do set that there, and I'm playing around with wallpaper too to just kind of add different color and texture to offer dimension and interest. I use this wood floor from, I believe, Pets um, pack, because again, I'm trying not to use the same stuff over and over. And then right here, I do a little sitting area, and that's when I had kind of decided that, like, everything in this space being transitional can still be useful. So we have quite a bit of seating, even though it's like small space. Um, but I feel like the main level isn't the living level. They have like a family room upstairs, and that's kind of more of the selling point too. Is that downstairs is the parents' bedroom and bath, and then that open living U-shaped space, and then the dining and kitchen straight to the outdoor entertainment. And then I do a little chair right here too. So I mean, you can sit and read or be cozy. And then I had to take a break because that took me like 3 hours to do. And now I'm back in the game the next day looking at it from the outside. I love it. I'm very proud of this house. I do end up changing the bottom. I do like the bottom foundation that I did, but I decided to change it to stone because I just felt like it was more cohesive to the house. And I also pulled out the house a little bit too on the top level. I might have done it on the bottom level too, but I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. And here I am trying to figure out the wall art situation. I'll explain to you guys what I did in a minute, but I don't want to spoil it. Okay, here we go. So if you go into the gallery and type in no CC art, people have taken pictures with like camera photography skill, or they have uploaded stuff in the game to, like, this art is no CC because it's considered a painting or a portrait. Although in their game they had CC, they used the mechanics of The Sims to make artwork for other people's games. So that's how it looks like, this woodsy stuff, and it's 100% no CC because they use the painting skill. That's the best way I can describe it to you, but you can find a lot of stuff like that. You can also find no CC stuff where people use tool mod to combine things in the game to create things that sorry, I had a little coughing fit there. But you can find where people use the tool mod to use stuff in the game to create other things. So it does not recognize it as CC, but technically it is a specialty made item using EA stuff. So I decided, I don't want the Western photos or the super modern photos or like the posters in this house, or the cottage house. So I picked no CC art that was like woodsy inspired because they live out here in the suburbs, and they're backed up to these pretty woods. So maybe that was like a feature that they loved when they chose to buy this house, was like that greenery. And then I saw the shelves that it was on, and I was like, oh, cool, this will add some interest to this very plain and boring wall that was in that master bedroom. So I use that for interest. Now I'm in here deciding, before I go upstairs, I want to make sure each room really feels cluttered. So I'm like setting things down and using Alt to place it so I can still use my counter space because I have very limited counter space, but I want it to look lived in. Not to the point where it's like overdone, but where you can tell like a family lives here and that they possibly have their kids grow up here. Here I am looking for more art, and I decided to put the reusable bags and the aprons, around the house. But I don't like anything. Oh, yeah, and I also put the water hose outside, which I like that feature. But I don't like anything for the space right here, so I do end up putting some more frames so you can put more pictures. And the cool thing about those frames is you can stack pictures and they'll change to different ones because it's the digital frame. So, and then I realized I didn't have the floor done in the dining room either. So I'm just playing around with making sure I was happy with everything on the bottom before I moved to the top. And now I'm trying to decide the floor plan for the top. So something I love and I wish I had in my house, and actually I haven't seen it in a lot of houses, but it's something that I personally love so much. Oh, here I go swapping out that door for the other season's door because it made the most sense. So I was just like, you know what, let's just use it. But something I love most in houses is a Jack and Jill bathroom. I think I have told you guys that in one of my other videos, but I love Jack and Jill bathrooms. So I was trying to make sure I could fit one. So I used the floor tile first to kind of map out before I drew walls to see if I liked everything. And I do struggle with these center windows pretty much for the entire build until the end. I have to swap them out because of where I place a wall. So just ignore that because I do change this front deck area a little bit. Right here I'm trying to play with like extending it possibly, which is a no-go. So I go back and then I decide to put a yoga mat out here for another skill item because it's just really important to have those in the game because it encourages you to use other mechanics in the game. And originally this was going to be the master bedroom, but then I decided it should be a teenage daughter bedroom. So, or it doesn't have to be a daughter, but for me in my sim, it's going to be a teenage daughter. And I do pull out that front because that front was giving me so much problems. I pull out the roof, decide, oh, I'm going to do a pole here. Oh, I don't like any of these poles. How do I make this look good? Whatever I've seen other people do. Oh yeah, I could just extend the wall. And I'm so glad I did because I think it looks so good. And then I decide to leave that other area open. I was possibly going to put an office up there, but I was like, no, I really need a real living room. So I did a family room. So here I am workshopping the Jack and Jill bathroom right now. And then I decide, you know what, this is a family home. The bathrooms typically tend to be the same in homes like that unless you get like a bathroom remodel. So if you were to buy a house, like most bathrooms would have like the same features in it. So that's what I went up here and did. And I do decide to make it a luxury bathroom and make it so much bigger. My biggest thing when I make bedrooms is I feel like I make everything too small because I'm not paying attention to my floor plan. So I never have room for wardrobes because I don't use them. I use the mirror, but I'm trying to be a better builder. So I choose to plop down those wardrobes just to kind of earmark a space for them. And I'm really proud of the way this bathroom turned out. And I love having the toilet in another room because I just feel like, you know, that's just a nice thing. So I did that in here. And I use the sleek bathroom kit. And I just love that kit. So I do pretty much just clutter it up at this point. There is one bedroom is for, it could be a girl or a boy, but it's for a child basically. And it's blue and green and it's set to be a gaming bedroom, which is a theme I've never done before. So I'm just trying to like expand upon things I'm doing. So while I'm cluttering up the bathroom, I'm kind of deciding, you know, who are the kids in this house? You know, and all that. And I decided at this point, you know, the other one is going to be a teenage daughter. So in my family, it's a teenage daughter, and I'm probably going to put a son in here, but it could easily, that gaming bedroom could be for a girl, or, you know, no identity is required to have a bedroom. You could put any sim in the rooms. But I was just thinking for my story, for my, I guess my save file, because I've been in a building mood lately. We've been watching some build videos. I also bump out the chimney in this bedroom up here to use that space for a desk area for the teenager. I also hate whenever I'm touring this build, those canopies disappear in the camera mode, but I don't get rid of them. So if you feel like they disappear at any point, they are 100% still there. They just disappear. So I use mostly high school years, a little bit of Love Struck in decorating this teen's room. And I'm really glad I did this because I feel like I don't really decorate my characters' rooms enough where it feels like they're an individual. So I feel like this family really is like one of those all-star families. Maybe their parents just really excelled in school and they're like those parents who are on the PTO, PTA, whatever you call it, the parent association in the schools where they are constantly, you know, cheering their kids on. At some point I tried to put trellises on outside because I thought, oh, can't she escape from this? Sneak out the window. But then I decided, no, we're not doing that. So I just scrapped the idea because I couldn't even remember if that's the thing. So this child is in cheerleading because I give them some cheerleading posters, but I decided not to put down the cheerleading mat because I don't like how it looks outside with my like space that I had set up, and I couldn't find a place for it. So I figured when I do my save file, I'll make the sim, I'll put the mat down down, and then I'll put it in their inventory so that way we can place it in different spots and it doesn't have to live anywhere. But I am really proud of this teenager's room. I feel like you know who this kid is. I definitely went with kind of like a stereotypical, like, popular girl. I wouldn't say like it girl to the point where they're like mean and a bully, but definitely an overachiever, a part of every generic cliche thing where they're like, oh, I love girly things. And it's okay to like this stuff. This is not me knocking anybody. It's just not an edgy character, is what I should say. It's kind of like posh, very femme inspired, on the cheerleading team, very much loves friends, loves to date and have a good time. Not saying it's a bad kid, not saying it's a bully or mean. You know, you can develop whatever story you want. I just really wanted to like show that this kid is possibly like really, maybe even on social media, is got a little, like, everybody in school follows this character and wants to know what they're doing. And I put all those pictures up, which I really like that came with Love Struck too, because I felt like it went really well with the teenage ones. And I also do the cozy gamer kit. Yeah, see, I put the pom-poms, the football team, the cheer team on the wall, the megaphone, and, you know, just little details. I'm proud of myself. I know other people do this all the time, but this is something I'm like starting to try to take pride into and really like develop and become a better builder without using CC, which I will still always use CC, but I am trying, especially on my laptop, like, so during the week, I can't see, here's that cozy gamer kit, and like, look at the little details. We have like the camera, the boba cup, the makeup brushes. I shrunk down a trophy so I could put like two side by side. You know, maybe they're for different types of cheer things. I put down the headphones, like that, and the sticker collection, and a book, and, you know, all those little things. I'm just so proud of myself. Like, I really am. And anyway, so what I was saying is, I will still use CC because I like it, but I can't always play on my PC that I record videos where you guys can see my face. I can only do that at night. You know, I'm a mom. My kids are asleep. I can do that. But during the day, like while we're cleaning or like playing video games and hanging out together, I can get on my laptop. So that's where I'm finding the time to do these builds. I don't want you guys to think these builds are taking away from my other videos on my channel. So those videos, the storytelling videos, I can only record at night when my children are asleep. You know, my content is not for anyone under 18. My stories are, you know, mature. There's a lot of drama and stuff going on, and I take a lot of time making that in one go. So I don't do that when my children are awake. So, but during the day, if I have a couple, you know, an hour here, 30 minutes here, I can hop on my laptop and do a build. So you might start seeing me do that in the summertime, because we actually, in my family, do not enjoy the summertime. We hate being outside in the heat. So when my kids are like doing arts and crafts and stuff like that, if I'm not participating with them, or if it's something they're doing on their own, I'll probably just hop on and work on a build, because it takes me, you know, maybe 3-4 days to do each one of these, because I only get a little bit of time. So here I am. Sorry for rambling. I just didn't want anyone to think this was taking away from other things on my channel. Those things will all stay. This is just something I'm doing when I have free time, but I can't be upstairs on my gaming PC. So here I am doing that kids room I was telling you about. It's for any gender. In my game, it's going to be for a little boy, because I'm kind of starting already to envision this family. I do kind of think this family might be a single mom family, but I'm not sure. But I really like it because I use things that I don't normally use in the game, which is like the whole point, right? I feel like I never decorate the kids' rooms because I feel like they always look the same. But here I am making a room I've never made before, mostly because I chose to use filters to show myself different swatches. I also did unlock sentiments. I also did show hidden objects. So like that dresser is from Eco Life, but I think you have to make it with the fabricator, which is great and all that. But if you don't use those aspects, you'll never see them in the game. So I did use that. And I also put down the void critter thing. I have never played with that with my Sims at all. So I was like, you know, that really is what... See, I go in and change all the posters to gaming posters because I decided, you know what, this kid loves gaming. so much. So I put down, the cozy gamer stuff. I shrink the void critter thing just to make sure they can walk around it. Most of the toys that are so large, you can shrink and they can still play them. So that's all good. And I also put up some different wallpaper, paint, and stuff like that because I want to really be interesting with the texture. I shrink the hopscotch and put it in front of the house because I feel like that just really made it feel like a family home. I did the TV that was a picture frame as well. And then I decided to go for like a cozy vibe. So I use these chairs that are like you can put them together because they're like one of those locking systems. These are from Snowy Escape, and I think those other chairs are Dreamhold Decorator. I don't really remember because I don't know. But I'm trying to get better at knowing what things come from. I have no idea where this rug is from, but I like this rug a lot. I think it's from Lovestruck. I do change the swatch, but I love that rug. I'm noticed that I gravitate towards it quite a bit. And then here I am, go again, type in no CC artwork, and I went with some more like outdoorsy, woodsy, but these are a little bit more country, but they still give that woodsy vibe painting. So they don't stay where they are. I do move them around a little bit because I'm trying to decide, what I want. And I also, there's this one I saw, I went to the creators page. They had these ones that were pictures of oasis. So I assumed they had a photographer, Sim, go and take these pictures out in Oasis Springs. And I thought that was really cool. And they framed them and put them on a wall and put them in the gallery. Oh, see, yeah, I extend the rooms a bit too because I realized like that landing zone area was just a little weird. And then that messed up my windows. So you will see me go back and forth for the windows for that space for quite a bit. So you'll just have to ignore that. I do eventually settle it down and make it make sense, but it just takes a little bit of time. And then because I elongated the room, I had this weird space right here and I didn't know what to put in it. So I go back and forth for a while, but I do end up settling on a chaise lounge because I think, this Sim would have friends over all the time just hanging out and gossiping in the nicest way. I don't think, they're malicious. And then I was like, okay, I need something here. They literally obviously put stuff all over their walls. They're very much like self-expression on their walls, but then I chose like a picture frame would probably be best. And then I do a little wall collage for that space. And then I finally found the trophy shelf, which I forgot I had been originally looking for. And I was like, yes, this family, like, I'm saying those are the parents and the daughter's trophies. Maybe not the son's yet. I don't know if the son would have earned any ribbons or trophies, but those are definitely the daughters and the moms. Because I was like, you know what? Let's get this university poster up here. Let's make this Sim like be one of those back in my glory days Sims. So I put a university poster up because that's from the university that they're from. I forgot the name of it, Brightchester. And then I also did the little scouts thing. I thought maybe the teenage daughter did scouts whenever they were younger, and now the brother does scouts. And possibly the mom was a soccer star with Brightchester. And I put a fishing bowl, I put a guitar. We might have a dad in this house. I wasn't really sure. I didn't design the space really thinking of the parents. I was thinking of the kids. And I definitely put a water slide out because they lived next to a splash pad. I feel like that was something they were excited about, so they would have their own outdoor entertainment too. So here we are going to tour it, but then I'm still not happy with the window situation, so I'm going to go in and change it a little bit. I end up uploading it 3 times to my gallery. So if you download it and notice like a few things are missing, it's because when I was touring it, I was like, oh crud, I'm missing wallpaper here. Or, oh crud, I did this. I did have this bulletin board. I don't know if I keep it. I think I do. But I was thinking, okay, cool, postcards is such a good idea because that's, good use of the space. But here I'm just, look at that. Like, I don't know what to do with those window situation. And then I'm like, oh, cool, I just uploaded this to the gallery. I'm missing wallpaper back here. Like, amateur 101. I really do struggle trying to figure out the situation for the windows. So I'm going to try a few things out, but it all works out. It all works out. But I think I put in a lot of skill items that I don't typically use. I tried to be very creative with how I chose to use the space. Instead of the parents having an office, I gave them that relaxing lounge area, which I thought was nice. And the teenager has a little lounge area. The kid has a gaming area. I feel like I did things I don't typically see, or at least I don't typically do. I can't remember if I did settle in on one window or not. I can't remember how I finished these windows. I just know that I was like, now it looks like it has too many windows. What am I doing? Like, I had a window fit for sure. Um, and then I don't know, like, my brain was like, I cannot figure this out. Oh, I do think that's where that ends up. I think this is how it ends up. Yes, I'm pretty sure this is the final window situation. It depends on if I've uploaded this 2 or 3 times. um, but you should be able to find it on my gallery if you want to download it and play in it. It is 100% CC free. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. The baths are very luxury though. There is no half bath. I don't typically like them in The Sims. I just like feel like it's wasted space. I mean, at least for me. I don't know. I'm like, just go ahead and throw a shower in there, make that space fully useful. So here we are beginning to tour it. I think it has great curb appeal. I feel like it looks like it belongs in the neighborhood, but it's still unique and interesting. Like, I feel like the main character of this neighborhood lives in this house, and I'm really like excited to put this in my game. The crazy thing about my save file is I've realized that like I love all the families so much that when we do rotational gameplay, I'm just very curious to see how their stories are gonna link up and play out. Um, and this is like a home I've already fell in love with. Like, I just feel like it has so much charm. I did not paint any of the ceilings. I've decided, like, in my own house the ceilings are all white like this, so I decided it could stay. um, and here I am thinking, like, is that a different wallpaper in the corner or is it just lighting? I decided not to worry about it and go into build mode and check. So if it is different wallpaper, I'm sorry, but just like looking at everything, taking pictures, and deciding, do I like it? Does it all look like it? This character is the person who lives here, is the same person decorating the house from top to bottom. And I feel like that happened. I do think, I use this small entry space to the best of my ability. And then you walk into the kitchen here. I think everything flows very nicely. So I'm just kind of like, my camera for some reason was scrolling. So I did edit any of this out because last time I over edited the tour and it messed up and I missed something. So this is our kitchen. I think it's really beautiful for the amount of space it actually is. I really like that archway. And then for some reason, the pillars, like the columns I put, disappeared. They are there, so don't think they're not. And I really like the dining space. I use those debug chairs that came with Eco Life. I think you can find them in the dumpster, but they're so cool and you just never get to use them. So I use them as the dining room chairs. Then this would be like circling back into that area. Here's the bathroom, and I do think the bathroom was the selling point. I think something is missing here in the corner, so I end up adding a laundry basket that I already have in the other corner. For some reason, I'm like, I don't know. I think originally I had a door there, and then I got rid of the door. So I'm like trying to figure out what is supposed to be there because it looks like it's missing something. But if I were to go back and when I add this to my normal game, I'm going to actually expand the counter like I did upstairs. Because here I am like, what is missing? So I clone that basket, which I already do have in the bathroom on the other side of the shower, but I didn't realize it. And I put it there just for the tour, but I would expand that into just having another shelf next time. So here's the master bedroom. I really like these two wood like paintings right here because I don't know, I just feel like waking up to that would be very beautiful if you're not waking up to like big windows that you can open up. That's a pretty view in my opinion. And I like that. Instead of doing a side table, I chose to put the dresser right there. And I think it works out. And then you have this like little study area next to the fireplace where you could do your digital art. And I feel like the space makes sense, so I'm happy with it. And then you go upstairs. So here I am trying to do that with the camera, realizing I can't. And then you land on the family landing zone where we have like the mom's college memorabilia, maybe pictures of a trip that she took to Oasis Springs. We have the Parenthood board there. That is just something we can use, to interact with our children. We have the soccer playbook. We have a digital children's tablet there. We have all the awards. We have the scouts thing, which is also an activity thing. And then we have the little sitting area, as well as this like little living space, which I think is very luxe and cozy, but it's the family living space. And I really like it. I think it's cool. I like the warm tones with the against the cold of the stone. I like the warm tones. I also set the TV to that oceany view because it looks like this parent at least likes to travel. Maybe they go on family vacation every year. So first I go into the gaming room, which can be for any kid, but for me it's going to be for a son in my game. And I'm proud of this room. I think I haven't seen a kid's room like this. I believe this is a 7, 8, 9, 10-year old's room. Like someone who loves to play games but still like collects their favorite like plushies. And then again, the Jack and Jill bathroom is something I love and I really want in my own house. So I'm proud of this one. It's a luxurious Jack and Jill bathroom. Sometimes I feel like they would be more like child oriented, but I wanted these to be like the selling point of the house was this luxurious bathroom. And then here's the teenage girl room, and you cannot tell me this is not like just such a good room. I'm so proud of myself. I did the same wallpaper that I did in the dining room, but I did the pink version because I just wanted to say this was the wallpaper that was already in the house. But I just love the attention to detail that all the clutter items add. And this is when I realized, like, hey, where's my little canopies? And then they go away, which is so annoying because I think going in camera mode, you would want to see that, but I just decided to brush it over. I do have the postcards there as well because I decided, this family is well traveled and, their kids would be too. So the teenager probably collects like postcards and stuff like that. And then we have the egg chair out here, which is just like so cool. The yoga mat, the diary, and then it goes right back into the family area, landing zone. And there's a guitar in there too, so there's another skill as well as a goldfish bowl. Here are, the aerial views. And then, I have the slip and slide out back. And it takes you to the little outdoor area, which I just refined everything with. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one, okay? Bye.